of this suit or named publicly. I don't recall their names being put out there, but they wanted credit for Truth Hurts, the actual song, and they wanted writing credits and compensation. Now, it just so happens that these men have nothing to do with the song, but the artist Lizzo she did decide to share revenue from the song Truth Hurts with Twitter's very own Legendina. You can find her on Twitter. She wrote a meme, and I think that the meme was, I just took a DNA test and I found out I'm 100% that bitch, right? So Lizzo actually included that as part of her Truth Hurts song, but the rest of the song was all hers, and she did give Legendina writing credits on Truth Hurts. So congratulations to Legendina, and hopefully Lizzo gets this, because the case is not over yet, but hopefully she gets some sort of win through this case. And you know what? Let's face it. If you are successful and something like this does not happen to you, you're not successful. Like, you need to have someone say that you jocked their style, or that you took their little brownie for my brownie. Yes. Or you took samples or whatever. Remember when Beyonce was in trouble with Desiree? Oh, yes. Look it up. It's in the history books, kids. So because I know most of you get your news from Shade Room, I'm sure you guys saw the post this week about the most difficult signs to love. I take umbrage with this post because Virgo was listed as the number one most difficult sign to love. Excuse me? Beyonce and I beg to differ. Michael Jackson and I beg to differ. Many legends and I beg to differ, by the way, about that. Virgos are fun-loving people. We're sweet, we're kind, we're jovial. We know all of the things. We're the best people to have around. No, but really, it said that because of Virgo's reluctance to let anyone in, it is oftentimes difficult to love them. I will say this. I'm not the type of person, like, there's some of you girls that have like, you're able to have these dynamic relationships with a myriad of people. As far as friendships or whatever the case is, you're able to have like dynamic friendships with a myriad of people at the same time. I've always kept my social circle very tight with a select few people, and maybe maybe that means that my booking card isn't always tagged up, but at the same time, it has always been quality for me. So, not to say that if you have a bunch of friends, that means that those aren't quality relationships, because that's also not true. But yeah, I do find I am reluctant to let people in. I don't think that that's a reason not to love me. I'm saying. Well, number 2 on the scorecard was Scorpio for being too flaky. And number 3 was Sagittarius for being flighty, impulsive, and all over the damn place. And for number 2 and 3, I could say that I agree a little bit. Definitely Scorpios are flaky for sure. Yeah, y'all are. Yeah, y'all are. And then flaky, maybe moody. Yeah? Okay. Sagittarius, flighty, impulsive, and all over the place. You know, I actually don't find Sagittarius people to be impulsive. I find them to be, I don't even find them to be flighty or all over the place. I don't know. I think that they are kind people, but I also think that they can be very I don't know. Don't listen to me. Okay, I'm moving on. Anyways. So, you guys, we never really talked about Amanda Seales and what happened with her. And I know that for a lot of you, you may not actually even be privy to the story. So I'm going to recap what happened and then, whatever, we'll talk about it. Because listen, first of all, let me say this, okay, about Miss Amanda Seales. Amanda Seales is probably, arguably, to me, one of the most strongest women that I follow in social media. And I've been following her career for quite some time. She is talented as heck. She is well-spoken and a great communicator, orator, I would say. Maybe not communicator because I don't know her to say that. But as far as I've ever received in terms of her being on the radio or her being a host of something or her podcast or any interview that I've ever seen of her, she delivers. There are some things that I tend to not agree with her on, but I've always said that I feel like she'd be the type of person for us, for us people who pull up to the table. She'd probably be the type of person that we'd be friends with, but we just didn't see eye to eye on everything, but we would fuck with her. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I see her. Like, I see her as like, girl, I don't know about that. But like, we can still kick it because she an island girl and she get it and she's mad fun and she's cool. You know what I mean? Anyway, so let's forward now to the Emmys. The Emmys just took place in September, right? Into September. So, the Emmys took place and there's always a bunch of parties that happen surrounding the Emmys. Vanity Fair's party, HBO has a party, Comedy Central has a party, Universal has a party, which would comprise of like E!, Bravo, NBC, Disney has a party, which would comprise of ABC, ESPN. You get what I'm saying? And so the black people, we don't really have a party. You guys have like black Emmy parties or whatever the case is. So there was a black Emmy party thrown by one of the people who threw the party happens to be Issa Rae's publicist, right? So fine. I want to preface this by saying Issa Rae's publicist is white. Okay. Now, everybody knows who Issa Rae is, right? Issa Rae, producer, writer, sometimes director of the legendary show Insecure. Also, actress, comedian, all around bad bitch Issa Rae. Now, Amanda Seales stars on Issa Rae's show Insecure as a recurring character, right? Okay, let's keep going. So, there is a party that takes place. And let's preface this, let's color this by saying that last year, I suppose that there was a same situation party and or there was some sort of exchange between Amanda Seales and Issa Rae's publicist. And this is previous to this year's Emmy party. And whatever the exchange was, it wasn't one that would merit, it didn't get physical. There was no verbal altercation. It was kind of like an energy exchange where, seemingly both women may have walked away feeling like you are not my cup of tea. I am not your cup of tea. Have a nice day. And I think that Amanda may not have liked a particular way that she was dealt with by the publicist. At any rate, Amanda goes to Issa, says something about it. Issa says, listen, y'all two are grown. I'm not trying to get involved in this. Y'all got to figure this shit out. Okay, respectable, right? It's just like if you and your homeboy have a similar friend or whatever, and y'all are not really friends, but your homeboy got somebody. Now, you know what? Let me not say that because I think it's different than when you have, so say for instance, because a lot of you guys are, dabbling in your own creative entrepreneurial endeavors or just entrepreneurial endeavors, period. So say you have a work relationship with somebody and you come across somebody else that they do work with and you guys don't have a decent exchange, and you say to that person, listen, you need to check that person. They work for you. You need to check them. And they say, well, listen, this doesn't have anything to do with work that us three are doing together. You two had a little something. Y'all two need to figure that out. Okay? Okay, period. I just want to let you know where I felt like Issa was, or just to lay the foundation of all of it, right? Anyway, let's go on. So then, the parties happen this year. The party is happening. And so Jesse Williams of Grey's Anatomy decides to invite Issa, right? So Issa shows up with one of her friends who is not in the industry, right? They get to the door and there is a table. Issa said, Amanda says that, there is a table there for the stars of Insecure, which she is one of the stars of. And so a young black lady who is working for this publicist sees Amanda and says, no, she cannot come in, right? And so Amanda's like, what do you mean I can't come in? Like, why? I was invited here. I'm on the invite list. My name is on the list. Ba, 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 ba. Jesse invited me, whatever. So homegirl's like, nah, you can't come in. So Amanda's like, you know what, girl? Bye. I'm coming in. And she goes in and she goes to the bar. So the person that she's with goes to the bathroom. By the time they come back from the bathroom, security has now come to escort Amanda out of the party. Not even Amanda and her friend, but Amanda specifically. So other celebrities are seeing this. I'm assuming people from the Insecure table are seeing this. So that means her co-stars are seeing this happen. And no one is saying anything. So the actor Elijah Kelly, who I believe he played, was he in the New Edition movie? Maybe. And did he do the live show of The Wiz? Did he? I think he did. Okay. So Elijah Kelly tries to come to her rescue. That does not pan out. So then at this point, beyond just the embarrassment of being put out the party, it is the fact that now other black stars are seeing it and none of them are saying anything. This is a black party with the publicist of one of the shows that they're celebrating. The star cannot be at the party. Now here's the thing. Amanda was not invited to this party. She was invited +1 by Jesse Williams. She was not personally invited to this party. All right. That's number one. Number two, she was asked to not come in, and she circumvented that and went in anyway. And then was upset because when she went in, they asked her to leave and no one came to her rescue. Now, here's where it gets real juicy. You guys know the young man who plays Dro on Insecure. His name escapes me, but I want to say his last name is Salinas. He had a little something scandal this year where a girl that he was dating found out that they were no longer together when he was showing his new baby on Instagram. Yeah, or some messy shit like that. So, at any rate, I'm just telling y'all that story so we can color it. Write the vision, make it plain. So, he then posts this whole thing going down that when you're mean to people, how could you expect anybody to be nice to you? So Amanda decided to take to her platform, which is her Small Doses podcast. And I believe that it is episode, I don't remember what number, but it is an episode that aired, I believe, end of September, early October. And it was Side Effects of Professionalism. And she did 2 parts on it. And she talked about the situation that happened. And, let me just say this. I think that number one, I don't think that my opinion, and I love Amanda, but my opinion is she shouldn't have went to the party. She knew whose party it was going to be. She knew who was throwing the party. It's like, I'm not going